Welcome to PrepForge's Spring Boot interview series. Today, dependency injection, the idea at the very heart of Spring, and almost always the first interview question. Instead of a class constructing the collaborators it needs with new, those collaborators are supplied from outside. Hard-coded construction welds a class to specific implementations and makes it nearly impossible to test in isolation. You can't swap a real database for a fake. DI inverts the control of creation, hence inversion of control. So the framework, not the class, decides what concrete dependency to hand over. The analogy, instead of the chef growing their own vegetables, the kitchen receives them from a supplier, and you can swap suppliers without changing the recipe. In Spring, you mark classes as beans with a component, at service, at repository, or at configuration. Spring's container scans for them, instantiates them, and stores them in the application context. When a bean needs another, Spring injects it by constructor, by setter, or by field. Here's the pattern interviewers want to see: constructor injection. The payment gateway field is final, and Spring supplies it through the constructor. Why is this the strongly preferred form? It makes dependencies explicit and mandatory. The field can be final, and the object is fully initialized the moment it exists. Best of all, in a unit test you just call new order service with a mock. No Spring container required. Field injection, by contrast, hides dependencies and can only be satisfied through reflection, which is exactly why it's discouraged. 3 follow-ups to be ready for. First, why constructor beats field injection. You now know the answer. Second, what happens when several beans match the same type. You resolve the ambiguity with a qualifier to name one explicitly, or a primary to set a default. And third, the distinction between DI as a principle and the container as the mechanism that realizes it. The practical payoff to close your answer: a service depending on a payment gateway interface can be handed a mock and tests and the real implementation in production without changing a single line. That's dependency injection, the foundation every other Spring answer builds on. Next in the series, Bean Lifecycle and Scopes. Like, subscribe, and find the full question bank at prepforge.net. See you there.